Hey, what's up YouTube? Mark here from the Backpacking Gear Nut, and today I want to talk about the gear loadout that broke my foot. That's right, it broke my foot. Just kidding, it wasn't the gear's fault, it was my fault. I was up there at Immigrant Gap and I was going to do a 30-mile backpacking hike, and it was snowy there. And I was going to hike down to Nevada City and just enjoy 3 days of just being out there, just me and the Lord, just enjoying some peace and quiet, getting some good mental health, and shooting some video for all of you. And I didn't even get on the trail. I was walking alongside Highway 20, and it was paved, so I wasn't thinking anything of it, but there was an opening hole where water drains, and there was no cover on it. And since they had scraped everything with the snowplow, it looked perfectly flat. And dummy me, I should have been doing what I would tell all of you to do and just take your pole and kind of just keep tapping in front of you to see if there is any holes out there so you don't step into one. But of course I didn't do that. So I stepped into the hole. It was knee deep, and the foot that went in the hole is not the one that broke. It's the one that was up on top, because my body lunged forward so fast that it broke across the top of my foot. And they had to do surgery and screw some ligaments back together, but in 2 months I should be out backpacking again. In 1 month I should be out car camping just with a boot on, and everything's good. It was a blessing. It could have been way worse. So there you go. This is how it broke my foot. Let's start with my big three. So if you don't know what the big three is, it's basically your backpack, your sleep system, which includes your sleeping bag and your sleeping mat and your tent. I'm going to start with my backpack, and my backpack that I've been using for, I don't know, the last whole season, so maybe like 7 months, 8 months of the year, is my Outdoorvitals backpack, and it is the Shadow Light. Now this one is the 60 liter, and I'll tell you what, I really love this backpack, and I'm going to do a full review, so you should see that within a week or two. But this backpack is not only reasonably priced, it weighs just slightly under 2 pounds. So if I had it to do over, I would have gotten the 45 liter, because of all of these extra pockets they put on here. It makes it way bigger than it really is. The next thing is my sleeping bag. This is a Summit 0 degree Outdoorvitals sleeping bag. This sleeping bag is great for the snow because you don't have to worry about drafts. It's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't really know how to use a quilt right. Now I do. I've been using quilts for a while now, and I've got it down to a science to where I don't get drafts and they're plenty warm. But I'll tell you what, this thing is like laying inside this beautiful pillow that's got so much loft. And when they say 0 degrees, they really mean you're comfortable at 0 degrees. Now they would say you're supposed to be wearing like a base layer at 0 degrees, but I can sleep in this at in my skivvies. So this is what keeps you insulated from the ground. Now the thermarest Neo Air X Lite is what I took with me, and I'll tell you what, this thing is not my favorite mat, but I was taking a lot of other stuff that was heavy, so I was trying to make up for it here, because at a 4.2 R value, this is definitely the lightest warmth to weight ratio. So the tent I brought was the Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2. The reason I bring a semi-freestanding tent, even though the majority of the time prefer a trekking pole tent because it's literally half the weight of this, is because of the fact that in the snow it's simpler for me to put up. And the nice thing is, even though this isn't really a snow winter tent, it works just fine for me, you know, because I don't go out in blizzard conditions and stuff. This works for some light snow on me, and plenty comfortable. And so the next thing I want to talk about is the layering system that I brought. Now, I brought Overkill because I wanted to try quite a few products out in order to be able to get a good idea of them and review them for the channel. And so I brought the entire layering system that they make at Outdoorvitals. Now, I would have been good down in zero with all this stuff, no problem. I didn't need it for what I was doing because it only really got super cold once the sun went down. During the day, it was still, you know, in the mid 30s. So just simply a merino wool t-shirt while I'm hiking, and maybe this is the Ventus hoodie, and I absolutely love this thing. It's got the nice holes in the armpits so that you can got good breathability. It's nice and light, packs up really small, so I would definitely bring that. Now, the next thing that they have in their layering system is this hood, or this jacket right here. Now, this is their new synthetic jacket, and it is super light. I may, instead of taking a puffy jacket, 3-season, I may take this as my jacket, and it gets smaller than this, but this thing's really toasty warm, and it's lighter than my puffy jacket. So the next thing that goes in their system is the puffy jacket. Now, the one that I got was the Nova Pro or something like that, and I like it because it literally does not have any stitching in it. They wove the fabric together, and I saw Dan Becker explain it like this, where they go like this, and so they wove the fabric together, and you don't get a draft through it. It really blocks the wind because it doesn't have a bunch of little holes for your heat to escape or air to get in. So it kind of acts like a windbreaker too. Love this thing. The final thing in the layering system is their rain jacket, and I want to say the name of this is like the Tushier rain jacket. It's got pit zips. The price is really reasonable for what it is, and it's relatively light. It's not the lightest, and as you can see, it packs up really tiny, but just simply having my merino wool shirt on and throwing this on works like a windbreaker. And because it's so breathable with the pit zips and everything, you really can stay warm with this. So there you go. So I definitely like that. I just haven't been able to really use it in the rain yet. For those of you who don't know, I live in California, and we kind of don't get very much rain very often. So now I like merino wool because merino wool does not stink as bad. It really deals with the stink really well, which is nice if you're out on the trail for some number of days. You know, this is like half a pound for my bottoms, which are pant length, and my top is a half a pound. But like I said, you'll see, like in some of the shots that I showed you earlier, you'll see that I was hiking in the snow with just this on, and I was toasty warm. I always carry there's a brand called Buff. Now, this one's not the Buff brand, but so you could call it a neck gaiter. I see it called all sorts of things, but I love bringing this, even though I got to get a new one because this one's starting to kind of wear out. But I love bringing these for so many things. They're so useful. You know, I use them a lot of times for a little bit of extra protection for the sun on my neck. I use it as a pot handle. I use it as a washcloth when I stop at a stream. You know, like I said, I don't like to stink. So if I stop at a stream, I'll get some water, take it off to the side so I'm not doing this in the stream. And I just sponge bath to just kind of knock off that extra layer of grime that I've built up. And it dries fast, and it's, like I said, everybody should have one in their bag. The other thing that I bring is my med kit. Now, I've talked about this, so I won't go into detail, but it's ultra light. It's got all the stuff I need in it. And I bring a pair of gloves. Now, I'm a mountain biker / cyclist, and quite enjoy that. I love getting out in nature. So these gloves are actually mountain biking gloves, but they work perfect for backpacking because they are so form-fitting, and you get good grip, and you even have a little thing so you can still do your phone. I absolutely love these gloves. They've worked really well, and I can be around snow and everything, and my hands are nice and warm in them. And when they get wet, they dry quickly because it's really important with cycling gear that you have stuff that A, moisture wicks, B, dries quickly, and C, is light and warm. So these are good all-around winter gloves for me. Next thing I want to talk about is my water storage system. Now, I'm using the Life Straw right now. I prefer the Be Free, and the reason I prefer the Be Free is it's literally like half the weight of this. There's benefits to this. It's easy to flush because you can literally screw a bottle of fresh water on it and squeeze it back through. I like carrying this bag. This is a new thing for me. And what this bag is the Hydra Pack, and it's a 3-liter bag. And this bag weighs less than 3 smart water bottles. And then I carry this with this little Z-Packs Aqua Clip. I'm not the person who came up with this idea. I've seen a lot of channels talk about it, and it works great. The reason I do this, so I use one of the smaller bottles, and I like it with the pour spout, is because it just clips right on my strap just like that, and I can get water really easy with very little effort. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me. It's great. And having a little bottle like this so I can mix electrolytes or whatever I want really helps also. So the next thing I want to talk about is my cook system. Now, this is my favorite cook system. This is the 500 milliliter Toaks titanium pot, and I use the BRS stove, and I throw a Bic lighter in there and a little piece of a sponge. I can boil 2 cups of water for any of the meals that I get that are freeze-dried, or I can cook ramen and everything else. Some people feel like this is a little bit small, and I do have the 750 milliliter one, which is bigger, but I've not had a problem with it. I cook mashed potatoes and other things and ramen bombs and all sorts of stuff in it, and it's not been a problem for me. And I like the fact that this whole setup right here is about as light as you can get for an isobutane stove. And it's really not expensive either, because the BRS is like $16.95 or something. It's been that same price for a couple years at least. And so that's my cook system. Now, then for my head pillow, I brought the Filio Elite, and I've modified it because I have a strap on here, and this strap works like a pad strap. Now, I don't need a pad strap with a sleeping bag because I have the hood to put it in, but the nice thing about this strap is I can take and fold up my pants and some of my extra clothes, because the pillow is only about 2.5 to 3 inches thick, and I actually really like this Filio Elite pillow because it's really soft and it feels really nice on my ear and head. It's just too narrow. So by stacking clothes up and then putting the strap around it and kind of tying it to it, it all stays together for me and it works well. And I can get it up to like 5 inches, which is great because I'm a side sleeper and it takes the pressure off my shoulder that way. So I bring an extra pair of skivvies. I bring a bear line. Actually, this is a paracord, but I use it as a bear line for my food. I got my spoon. So this is the Tox titanium long-handled spoon with the polished bowl. Toiletries. And I don't really have to go into all my toiletries, but you know, there's some little dried soap, so there's no liquid in it. That keeps the little soap flakes nice and light so that I can wash my hands or whatever I need. Some sunscreen, some lip balm, toothbrush, you know, those sorts of things. I bring my NU25, or yeah, it's the NU25 headlamp, and I absolutely love this headlamp. There's a new version out that I'm thinking about getting, and it's slightly lighter, but I can actually make this one just as light if I just simply change the strap to some shock cord. But so that's my headlamp. And then I always take my Garmin inReach because I always want to make sure that I have the ability to communicate no matter what. As long as you can see the sky, this will work. I brought some hand warmers. Now, the reason I bring hand warmers is not really for like my hands or anything, but you don't want your water bottles to freeze and other things to freeze. And I figured out that I don't like shoving everything in my sleeping bag, so I brought 3 of them. And essentially, that's 1 extra because I was going to be out 2 nights, 3 days. So to keep all my stuff dry, I bring just a cheap garbage bag. And in this case, it's a trash compactor bag. I also bring a 13-liter ultralight Sea Summit dry bag that's also a compression sack because I can put all my clothes and stuff in that, and it just really makes sure that the things I absolutely don't want to get wet don't get wet. I bring a trowel with toilet paper. Now, I also put a couple doggy bags in there in case I happen to be somewhere where I can't dig, because we have a lot of granite up in the hills, and so I prefer not to pack out my poop, but I'll do that instead of leaving it for somebody to enjoy later. Now, a lot of people won't bring this. This is bear spray. You don't really need it most of the time, but I use it for other things. So for me, it gives me peace of mind and my wife peace of mind if I have the bear spray, because if I was in a situation where I had an aggressive mountain lion, which doesn't happen very often, but it does happen in my area, this works great for mountain lions. It works great really for anything, including people. I've never had anybody become aggressive with me, but better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So the next thing is my helinox Chair Zero. Now, I was only going to be in snow for probably the first day. Honestly, I wouldn't sit in snow on one of these chairs, but after the first day, I would have had plenty of area to sit and enjoy one of these. And I really like having a chair to sit on, so I brought this. I bring 2 10,000 milliamp hour batteries, and this is to keep everything charged, all my camera gear, whatever I have that's electronic, I can stay plenty charged. So we're getting down to the end. I just have a couple things left, and one of those things is my Gerber dime. So the Gerber dime is nice because it's a multi-tool, which I really like, because with my tripods and stuff, I'm able to fix things when I need to. I also bring hand sanitizer. I typically won't bring a full bottle, but I'll bring a small bottle about half full. That way I'm cutting down on weight because I don't really need a full bottle. So these are my trekking poles. They're the Montem, and they're carbon fiber. And for $80 when I bought these are much lighter than a lot of the other trekking poles that are carbon fiber out there, and they're built solid. I have saved myself so many times, and the truth is you will break a trekking pole if you're an avid backpacker and you do it enough. But I've gone a whole season with this and not even a crack or anything, and it's worked fantastic for me. So that's it. That's my gear loadout. Please click on one of these videos so that you can see some more of the videos that I've done, and I'll see you on the next one.